everyone, welcome back to the True You podcast. This is episode 2. Woohoo! We've made it to episode 2, everyone. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Vicki. I am a mindset and confidence coach, and you might know me from TikTok. I do like daily reminders, a lot of body realness, body acceptance, and all of that good stuff. I'm so excited to have you on my podcast, in my podcast. Listening to my podcast? Yeah, I think listening to my podcast. Yeah. This week's episode is about how to get unstuck in life. Those moments where you just feel like everything you do is going wrong, or you're not doing anything, or you just feel a bit stuck. You just feel a bit like in a rut and you don't really know why or what's going on or how to get yourself out of the rut. So that is what today's episode is all about, because you know what, I have been feeling a little bit in a rut recently. I have been feeling like I am stuck, like everything that I try to do is just not quite in alignment, or I don't know, like things are just taking a long time to materialize, and that's okay. But I've been waking up feeling quite de-energized, right? And quite drained. And that is literally after doing not a lot. Like, I've not been super, super busy in the daytime. I mean, like in the evenings, I've had quite a lot of social events. But yeah, it's just one of those feelings like whatever I do is just not right. And that is not how I want to be. That's not how I want to feel. So I've identified that I'm feeling a little bit drained, feeling a little bit stuck. And then I've put in place some steps to get out of the rut, and I'm finally feeling like I'm getting out of the other side of it. And yeah, the last few weeks, they have been difficult. As I spoke about in my first episode, I'm going through a breakup, which is always going to be difficult. Like, there's always going to be times where I'm like crying my eyes out in my bed, like, why has this happened to me? What is happening to my life? And I think the part of getting yourself out of a rut is recognizing that it's okay to be there. It's okay to feel stuck sometimes, because out of those feelings and out of those scenarios is where the true transformation lies. And I read in Emma Mumford's Hurt, Healing and Healed that we are like lotus flowers, or plants in general, but you know, lotus flowers, they represent, you know, transformation and all of that amazing like purity and, you know, all of that good stuff. So like a plant or like a lotus flower, you can't grow unless you have a bit of muddy water, a bit of soil, a bit of like fertilizer. That's probably not right. I'm not a plant person at all, but you know, a plant does not survive without a bit of muddy water, without a bit of soil. So like ourselves, we cannot thrive, we cannot transform and level up and get to that next place without first going through a little bit of struggle, going through a bit of difficult times, of uncertainty, of feeling stuck. Because a useful thing to think about is, if you're feeling stuck right now, that means that the next level is about to unlock for you. And that is something that I keep reminding myself. Like every time I wake up and I feel drained again, I feel very low energy, I remind myself that this is happening for a reason. Nothing just happens. This is a period of time that is allowing me to meet myself where I am, to give myself the grace that I deserve, and to give myself the support that I would give so freely to other people. And that is okay. It's okay to be in this stage of your life. So that being said, knowing that it's okay to feel the feelings of feeling stuck and feeling like nothing is going right and feeling like you're stuck in a rut and you don't know which way is up, I have put together a little morning routine, a little routine. You don't necessarily have to do it in the morning, but I find that putting it in first thing into your routine just sets your day up for success and sets you up to be like, oh, I'm changing the way that I feel. I'm changing my circumstances and my reality, and I am in control of how this day will go, which is such an empowering way to think about it. So I've created a successful routine that actually does work for getting yourself unstuck when you feel like life is literally slamming the brakes on you without warning, which is how I've kind of felt recently. But I already know that it's all happening for a reason. I already know that the universe has my back and that I'm going to learn so much from this period of my life. So think about that already. Like, what can you already learn from this period of feeling stuck and in a rut? What can you take away from it already? What lessons are there to be had from this situation and this time in your life? So in order to get unstuck and out of this rut that you find yourself in at the moment, you literally have to shake up your energy to realign or figure out what it is that you want. Because when you're feeling stuck, when you're in a rut, that is because something is going on for you. Maybe it's, you're not happy in your job, you're not happy in your relationship, or maybe it's that a big change has happened, like at the end of a relationship, a loss of a job, of a friend, of a relative, of anyone. It might be some kind of loss that you're feeling that has resulted in you feeling stuck and feeling like hopeless and you don't really know where you're going from there. Something has happened and you need to acknowledge that that has happened in your life and take the time to fully sit with yourself and be like, it's okay that I'm in this stage. It's okay that I'm grieving the loss of this thing, or it's okay that I don't feel satisfied in this particular situation, in this relationship, in this friendship, in this career. It's okay to admit that to yourself. And in order to move on and to realign and to feel unstuck, you have to acknowledge that so that you can switch your energy up and get to the place that you want to be in, and to move forward and to just feel like you're unstuck and that you're actually taking steps forward. There have been times in my life where I felt so stuck, like when I was working in customer service, and I only did it for a year. It was always a case of when and not if that I was planning to leave that job. But at the time, going in and day out and just feeling so unaligned, misaligned, no, unaligned, I think it's unaligned with my purpose. I just did not feel like this was a good place for me. The energy that I was bringing to the job and the energy that was surrounding me was just not healthy, and it wasn't a happy energy. It wasn't a positive energy. And I felt stuck there because I was like, I don't have a backup plan. If I leave this job, I don't have a backup plan. And I'm so lucky and grateful and fortunate that I can just live at home still with my family, which is where I'm currently at. But when I left my customer service job, this was back in 2021, I want to say, or was it 2020? It was during lockdown, so I think it was 2020. When I was in that job, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was just out of university. I was like, what am I doing with my life? I knew that I kind of wanted a social presence of some kind because I've been doing social media for years now, but I hadn't fully fallen into the place that I'm at now, like with body acceptance and confidence and all of that stuff, because I wasn't there yet. I was going through that work myself. In 2020, that was the year when the biggest shift in my mindset and how I felt about myself and the relationship that I formed with myself, that was the year that it all happened for me. So feeling stuck in that job was the reason I could level up, was the reason that I could figure myself out and get to know myself and start to love myself and accept my body exactly as it is. So even just looking back now, like that moment, that year that I felt quite stuck and misaligned with this job, that propelled me to where I am now. And without that, I might not be here today. I might not be making these podcast episodes. Like, it's crazy to think that literally every time you're stuck somewhere, or you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like you're in a rut, something amazing is about to happen. But the little premise of that is only if you decide to make a change, only if you decide to shake up the energy and to truly say to yourself, I don't want this for me. I don't want this for my life. I want to feel unstuck. I want to get out of this rut. Be honest with yourself. What do you want? Do you want to stay here forever? Do you want to make a change? Do you want to shake things up? And if you do, then you're in the right place because I'm going to tell you my best tips and things that have worked for me to get out of that place, to move on, to finally just say yes to what you want to do. And when I left the customer service job, I went on to do English tutoring for French students, which was so fun. But it was by no means a full-time job. I literally took the leap of faith to leave my customer service job. I was like, this energy is not right. And I really felt like I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve whilst I was still there. So I just made the decision. I was like, if I don't do this now, then I never will. Or no, I knew that I would, but it was that kind of vibe. I was like, if I don't do this, I'm worried that it will never happen. So I took the leap of faith. I tried various different things. I was an English tutor. I tried to do branding and social media management for a while. I was a virtual assistant for a while. And all of this time I was on my self-development journey. I was starting to become more comfortable with my body. I was watching other creators that I really aspired to. And then I just suddenly said to myself, why am I trying to do all this work for other people when I can just share how I'm doing? I can just share my life. I can share my journey and see if anyone relates, basically. So I started on TikTok and I started posting there, and it's still growing. I'm still very in the early stages. But I'm loving the journey, and I'm just loving doing what I want to do and not living my life on other people's terms. And I'm so lucky and grateful that I get to do that. I know that not everyone is in the position to leave a full-time paying income to do something as risky, because it is a risk. It was a risk, and it was a risk that I felt that I had to take because now was the best time to do it. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my early 20s. So, I mean, yeah, it was, if I didn't do it now, then when? So if you're feeling stuck, if you're in a rut right now, when are you going to make the change? When are you going to finally say no to all of the things that are holding you back? Because I really think that you should say no to them right now and start saying yes to yourself. And if nothing else, let this be your sign to finally figure out why it is that you feel stuck right now. Because a lot of the time people are like, oh, I just don't know why I feel stuck. But if you actually sit with yourself with that question and think, what in my life right now doesn't feel good? Because I truly believe in trusting your gut and trusting your instincts. And for me, recently, what hasn't felt good is going on social media and mindlessly scrolling. And that is because I just fell into the game of comparison, which is so natural and so normal to do because, where does comparison come from? It comes from dating way back when. And this sounds a bit strange, but it truly is, right? So like in survival of the fittest, way back when everyone was like the population wasn't as large and people were fighting it out to pass on their features, to find a mate, to be able to share your life and have children and pass on your good features to the next generation. So comparison comes from fighting it out to find that other person. So you might see a characteristic in someone else that you believe you need to have in order to be attractive, to, attract that other person to you. Whereas in today's day and age, there is room for everyone and there is space for literally everyone in this lifetime and in this world. I mean, without going into, the discussion of overpopulation, but, there's space and there is enough people in this world to go around. And if you want to find someone, then you will. I mean, I've started saying to myself, I'm not finding someone, I'm attracting someone in. So if you want someone special in your life, if you want someone to share the journey with, because it's okay if you don't, but if you do want someone, then you'll attract them in at the right time and you'll attract someone that is right for you. So we don't need to be anyone else. But yeah, so I was falling into the game of comparing myself to other business owners, comparing myself to people that are on day 567 of their journey and I'm on day 300. So that was just not healthy for me. So I identified that. I identified that is why I was feeling stuck, because I was just not taking the action, because I was just thinking and I was analysing and I was thinking, oh, they're doing it like that, so maybe I should do mine like that. And I'm like, I just need to do me. I just need to realign with what I want to do and what people come to me for. And because I was starting to, like, full transparency here, I was starting to look a lot, because I'm on my spiritual journey as well. So I was starting to really fall into the world of manifestation and spirituality, which I love. I absolutely love. But I was watching spiritual mentors and people that do like memberships for spirituality and manifestation and all this stuff. And I started thinking, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should bring that into my brand. And I'm like, Vicki, slow down. Like, I love body acceptance and that is what I stand for and that is what I love and what people know me for as well. So I just needed to stay in my lane, basically. And sometimes we get stuck in the rut because we're overthinking. We're thinking about everything that we could possibly do, every avenue that we could possibly go down, when we just need to figure out and to clear the mess away, to clear out, to ask yourself, what is your soul called to do? What actually makes you happy? And you will know, like, it will become clear to you what your soul actually loves. So just cut out the noise and just focus on that one thing and just take some action towards it. And whether that is like, I don't even know, if you want to start posting on social media, if that's your calling, but you're overthinking it because of various different factors, what will people think, the fear of looking cringy, of embarrassing yourself and things like that, just do it. Just post one thing today and see how it feels. Because the greatest way to get through fear is to take action and then to realize what you've learned from it. To take the lessons away, to realize that, oh, I didn't die. Oh, I didn't mess up. Oh, I didn't embarrass myself. Oh, people actually like what I'm doing. And the more that you reinforce it, the stronger you'll feel in it. And the more likely you'll be able to overcome that fear in the future. So make a conscious commitment to shake things up, to alter your norm. What are you currently doing in your routine that just feels really boring and that feels really mundane? Like, make a conscious effort to shake things up. I saw a video yesterday and it outlined it perfectly. It's like, in your routine, just try and switch a couple of things up. Like, start brushing your teeth with your left hand rather than your right hand. Take a different route to work. Have a different cereal in the morning. Watch a different show at night. Change your bed clothes. Put your picture frames on different hooks. I just thought about that because I was like, oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, put your picture frames on different hooks than they've been on before. Switch things up. Make the conscious effort to shake up the energy in the room. Because when you shake up your physical surroundings and your physical routines, everything internally will shift up as well. It's like a knock-on effect. So yeah, make the conscious effort to change things up. And the second step to getting unstuck is visualization. And now this has changed the game for me, especially if you're into spirituality, or even if you're not. Like, visualization is so powerful, no matter what your beliefs, no matter what you do in life, no matter what you want, visualization is so powerful. And I've been loving Life by Lucy's visualizations on YouTube. They're so powerful. Like, the music that she uses in her visualizations are just, mwah, chef's kiss. Yeah, it gets me in my feels every single time, and I absolutely love it. Like, I'm just here for it. So yeah, check her out on YouTube. She has lots of different visualizations to go through. I also use Spotify. There's so many amazing resources out there. And if a guided visualization isn't right for you, it doesn't feel good for you right now, then just ask yourself these simple questions. What do I truly want? Where do you see yourself in 6 months' time? What is my future highest version of me doing? If I could take away all of the fear, all of the uncertainty, what would I be doing? When you get to the end of your life, what will you regret not doing? And just by asking and pondering those questions, I recommend doing it in a journal or voice noting yourself. I love to go on my daily walk with Thor and just voice note myself because then I can listen back to it and be like, oh, that's what I wanted then. And, it feels so liberating and freeing. And it just looks like you're messaging a friend. So yeah, if you're worried about what people might think about you, or use a dictaphone. I've had clients use dictaphones for this kind of practice. So yeah, switch up your routine, visualize what you actually want out of life, And then take small action towards it. What is one thing that you can do today to propel yourself towards your dream reality? And action is a big part of my one-to-one program. Together, we uncover what is keeping you stuck, what is holding you back from getting to your dream reality, from pursuing the career or the relationships or anything in life that you want. What is holding you back? And maybe it's how you feel about yourself, and that can be a goal that we work through. Maybe it's the way that you feel about your body, or the way that you feel in your relationships or in your friendships. Something is holding you back right now. What is it? And how can we remove it? And that's something that is so powerful in the work that I do with my one-to-one clients. Like, we uncover exactly what it is. We pinpoint what it is that holds you back. And then we unpack that. We reframe it. We bring in what will be more useful, what we can work with, what we can remove from that situation. And I have a few really, really useful release techniques for this. And sometimes you might not even realize that you're stuck. I mean, if you're listening to this or watching this, then you probably know that you're stuck. But, if you don't know you're stuck, the best way to identify that is the feeling like there is a dull ache in your body or in your heart or in your chest or in your throat. And maybe you can't even put your finger on it. Maybe you can't see what is keeping you stuck right now. But the fact that you have that dull ache and you're listening to your body, it might be the universe is telling you that there is an area in your life that needs change and needs attention. Maybe you daydream about a goal that you have, but you never actually take any action towards that goal. That could be the feeling of unstuck, of feeling stuck, sorry. So yeah, identify what it is you're feeling stuck about and make the conscious commitment to shake things up, shake up your norm. Okay, my next piece of advice for getting out of this rut and this feeling of stuckness, if that's a word, is bring more fun into your current situation and completely switch off from your goals, your desires, your whatever you want out of life. And now this feels so counterintuitive, especially with everything that I've just said, but stick with me here. So you know what you want, or maybe you don't know what you want, and that's the problem. But by completely switching off, bringing in some fun, shifting your focus, going bowling, meeting up with friends, going to the cinema, reading, writing, doing anything that feels fun for you, playing sports, going to the gym, whatever, bringing in more fun and switching off from that thing that you've been procrastinating or, overthinking or, feeling bad about. Switching off from that allows your brain to open up. It just immediately brings in more just energy into your life because you're like, oh, I'm not stressing over this thing anymore. And then the more that you are focusing on something else, the more you might be like, oh, well, now I actually want to go back and work on this thing. Because sometimes we want something so much that it becomes hard work. And then you end up not wanting it anymore because it's just like this thing feels so heavy and so scary and so out of my reach that why would I bother? Why do I want to do this? Because it's so hard work. But if you shift your focus and shift your energy and just bring in more fun, then you'll start to be like, oh, I want to go and work on this thing now because I feel in a better mood and a better vibe, and I have more energy about me. So sometimes resting is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Because I know every time that I'm starting to get into a rut with my work and feeling a bit burnt out, I know that just lying on the sofa, resting, giving my body the rest that it so deserves and that it needs, I then come back to the work better and stronger than ever. So I challenge you to take a break. And that might feel like the most alien thing in the entire world, but trust me, it works. Take a break. Take a conscious break. Do something where you won't be thinking about it like with half of your brain, like, oh, like I can watch this film, but my brain will be thinking about everything that I haven't done. Go out and do something. Meet up with a friend, go for a walk, go for a run. Do something that takes up all of your mental capacity. So that then, when you come back, you can then feel excited to be back and excited to make this change and to feel out of this rut and to make your way and to make the steps to come out the other side. So yeah, completely switch off, bring in more fun, and then see where it takes you. And my final piece of advice for this podcast episode is to talk it out. The power of talking and verbal diarrhea is unmatched. The amount of times that someone like my mum has asked me if I'm okay, and I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I start talking and the things that come out of my mouth that I just was not expecting. It's so strange, but you literally feel so liberated afterwards because you're like, I've just got everything out of my brain and I was not expecting this. But if you have someone to talk to, if you have a friend, a family member, if you talk to yourself on your dictaphone, or, if you have a therapist or a counsellor or a coach like me, then talk it out. Just by getting a different perspective, just by getting it out, like as you speak, things might become clear to you, which is something that happens to me a lot. Like even as I'm speaking in this podcast now, like things have become clear to me just by speaking it out. And all of my one-to-one clients say the same thing. The things that come out when you just talk, when you allow yourself to just talk and explore where it takes you, it is so empowering and freeing, and your brain makes connections as you speak. So if you're bottling it all up inside, then those connections will never be drawn and you'll never be able to express how you're fully feeling and understand how you're fully feeling. So if there is something that you want to work through, that you're feeling called and pulled to work through and talk through with someone, then my one-to-one coaching is specifically designed for you. Each week, we cover a topic that is tailored specifically to you. I ask the powerful questions. You verbal diarrhea the answers. Well, it's not verbal diarrhea, but you spill out and open yourself up to heal, to understand yourself better, to come home to yourself, to figure things out. And we set the plan in motion to get you to where you want to be, to get you to feeling unstuck, to get you to know yourself, to love yourself, to be your own best friend, to finally achieve the things that you've been putting off for years. And it will be the best thing you ever do. I haven't had a single client that has got to the end of the course and said, I wish I'd never done this. It's always, I wish I'd done this work earlier. And I wish that past me would have known what I know about myself now. So if you're feeling the pull and the urge to just get to know yourself, to feel unstuck, to finally make the big changes in your life, then please fill out the application form in the show notes, in the description below. And we can have a low pressure, no pressure conversation, and just figure out what you need right now, because I'm here to support you at the end of the day. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm like, this is literally for you. And yeah, it makes me so happy to be able to provide that service for people. So yeah, that is the end of today's podcast episode. If you've made it to the end, then please leave me a comment down below or a review on whatever channel you're listening to this on, and let me know your thoughts over on Instagram. If you would like more information about my one-to-one program, then you can find that on my website, vicki-reckless.com, or if you'd like to have a conversation with me, I offer a free 30-minute consultation taster session to see what it's all about, how it can help you, and to see if we're the right fit to work together to get you to where you want to be. So that is it for today. Thank you for listening and watching. I will see you all in my next episode. Goodbye, everyone.